Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Prostrations to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, who has come in so many forms to bless us all.
நானுதியாதுள்ள நிலை நாமதுவாயுள்ள நிலை நானுதிக்கும் ஸ்தானமதை நாடாமல் நானுதியாம் தன்னிழப்பை சார்வதெவன் சாராமல் தானதுவாம் தன்னிலையில் நிற்பதெவன் சாற்றுதி முன்னர் எழும்பும் மகந்தை எழுமிடத்தை நீரில் விழுந்த பொருள் காண வேண்டி முழுகுதல் போல் கூர்ந்த மதியால் பேச்சு மூச்சடக்கி கொண்டுள்ளே ஆழ்தறிய வேண்டும் அறிபிடம் போல் தீர்ந்துடலம் நான் என்று வாயால் நவிலாதுள்ளாள் மனத்தால் நான் எங்கென்றுந்துமென நாடுதலே ஞான நெறி யாமின்றி அன்றிது நாமாமதுவென்றுன்ன துணை ஆமது விசாரமாமாவதனால்.
Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, and also the Zoroastrian scripture, Zandavasta, we are told it's enough if you recite them, or if you cannot read them, at least listen to them. It doesn't give very much importance to understanding the meaning of it, which is very significant. The hearing is done by the brain. Listening is done by the heart. What is the difference? The brain, like a sieve, it has already got knowledge. If I say God, you think, the listener thinks he understands, or he hates God, or he denies God. So he is not listening. He is hearing the word, he is reacting. The difference between hearing and listening is, in hearing you are reacting. I know this. I don't know this. Yes, I agree. I do not agree with this. So, this is the reaction. Whether you utter it orally or not, it is subconsciously it is going on. But in listening, you just listen. I do not know Sanskrit. I do not know Persian. I do not know any other Indian language except my mother tongue Tamil. But when sages recitations like Tukaram's, Saint Tukaram, he is Marathi. I don't know a single letter of Marathi. I love to listen. I don't know the meaning. There is no need. Because the scriptures are poured forth from the heart. What is heart? We have been sharing here. It's the I am. It's not the physical heart. It's the spiritual heart. All the time present as I am. When that has been uttered by sages, either east or west, doesn't matter. Chinese, Buddhist, Christian mystics. When you listen, it goes straight into your heart because it has come from the heart. It goes straight to the spiritual heart. That's why I always ask my friends this recitation in Tamil, and also when I read out from Ramana Maharshi, I do not even want you to follow it, just listen. It's very important. We have forgotten that art of listening. That's how the four Vedas, there is no classroom for Vedas. No one explains it. For centuries to centuries to centuries. The Veda Pathsala is Vedas school. They teach. They just ask, they recite, and the students start reciting along with the teacher. So now I am going to Bhagavan. This is the other day we ended our session saying, today we are all going to be free. Today is July 4th. You know, my friends, I tell this not only on July 4th, and every day, everywhere, because it is the easiest thing to declare. You are already free. Each one of us is already free. Every moment we are free. You have to only excuse me. Listen to the holy words of the Master. Whoever the Master may be, it doesn't matter. It's coming from the single heart, whether it is Moses or Jesus or the Buddha or Ramana Maharshi. There is only one heart from which the teaching comes. When you attune your heart to that, the teaching automatically goes in. So today is the most important 3 verses where Bhagavan gives total emphasis for the essence of his teaching. As we saw the other day, first 26 verses, Bhagavan helping us to reject the non-real, the world, the mind eye, the ego eye, the object seen, including God, seeing of God. These 3 verses, Bhagavan affirms the real. So I sought Bhagavan's help directly. Instead of my fumbling with the teaching, we will go directly. And fortunately, the old devotee, the biographer B.V. Narasimha Swami, was the first biographer of Ramana Maharshi, who wrote in 1922. From 22 to 26, he stayed with Maharshi and wrote the biography of Ramana Maharshi. We owe so much to him. And fortunately, I saw in Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi, talk number 25, B.V. Narasimha Swami, making Ramana Maharshi expound the entire fiber of his teachings. It is spread out for many pages, but we are going to read out only the important portions. B.V. Narasimha Swami, this is talk number 25. B.V. Narasimha Swami author of self-realization asked the fundamental question, who am I? How is it to be found? Maharshi. See the beauty of Maharshi. He could have immediately started expounding his, if it is merely an intellectual exposition, would we wait for, are we not waiting for an opportunity to talk? Every one of us. The question is, who am I? How is it to be found? B.V. Narasimha Swami asks, Maharshi's reply begins with, ask yourself the question. The body, Annamaya Kosa, and its functions are not I. Going deeper, the mind, Manomaya Kosa, and its functions are not I. The next step takes on to the question, where from do these thoughts arise? When the body and breathing is denied or confirmed, the next doubt for us is thought. Where from do these thoughts arise? The thoughts are spontaneous, superficial and analytical. They operate in intellect. Then who is aware of them? The existence of thoughts, their clear conceptions and their operations become evident to the individual. If you ask yourself, everything is, Bhagavan again and again puts the ball into your court. Instead of expounding it, find out. You will yourself find. The analysis leads to the conclusion that the individuality of the person is operative as the perceiver of the existence of thoughts and of their sequences. This individuality is the ego, or as people say, I, the ego I. Inquiring further, the question arises, who is this I? Where from does it come? I was not aware in sleep. This I, principle of I, is not aware in sleep. Simultaneously with its rise, sleep changes to dream or wakefulness. But I am not concerned with the dream just now. Who am I now in the wakeful state? If I originated from sleep, then the I was covered up with ignorance. Such an ignorant I cannot be what the scriptures say or the wise ones affirm. I am beyond even sleep. I must be now and here, and what I was all along in sleep and dreams also, without the qualities of such states. I must therefore be the unqualified substratum underlying these three states. Transcending all these states, I is, in brief, beyond the five sheets. The residuum left over after discarding all that is not self is self, which Hindus call as Satchit Ananda. Question: how is that self to be known or realized? Bhagavan, transcend the present plane of relativity. The mind is the creator of the subject and object and is the cause of the dualistic idea. Therefore, it is the cause of the wrong actions of the limited self and the misery consequent on such erroneous idea. Question: what is this mind? Bhagavan, mind is one form of manifestation of life. A block of wood or a subtle machine is not called mind. The vital force manifests as life activity and also as the conscious phenomena known as the mind. Question: How shall we discover the nature of the mind? Maharshi, Bhagavan's answer, arranging thoughts in the order of value, the I thought is the all-important thought. Personality idea or thought is also the root or the stem of all other thoughts, since each idea or thought arises only as someone's thought and is not known to exist independently of the ego. The ego therefore exhibits thought activity. The second and the third persons do not appear except the first person. Therefore, they arise only after the first person appears. So all the three persons, I, you, he, all the three persons seems to rise and sink together. Therefore, trace the ultimate cause of I or personality. Question: how is the mind to be eliminated or relative consciousness transcended? Maharshi, the mind is by nature restless. Begin liberating it from its restlessness, give it peace. Make it free from distractions. Train it to look inward. Make this a habit. This is done by ignoring the external world and removing the obstacle to peace of mind. Question: how is restlessness removed from the mind? Maharshi, external contacts, that is, contacts with objects other than itself, make the mind restless. Loss of interest in non-self is the first step. Then the habits of introspection and concentration follow. They are characterized by control of external senses, internal faculties, etc., ending in samadhi. Devotee, distractions are caused by inherited tendencies. Can they be cast off too? Maharshi, yes, many have done so. Believe it. Trust it. They did so because they believed they could. They trusted themselves that they could. Predispositions can be obliterated. Definitely. It is done by concentration on that which is free from predispositions and yet is their core. That is by diving within. Question: how long is the practice to continue? Maharshi, till success is achieved and until liberation becomes your own permanently. Success begets success. If one distraction is conquered, the next is conquered, and so on, until all are finally conquered. Have complete trust in yourself. The process is like reducing an enemy's fort by slaying the manpower one by one as each issues out. Question: what is the goal? Maharshi, realizing the real is the only goal. Question: what is the nature of the reality, such reality? Maharshi, A. Existence without beginning or end, eternal. See how Bhagavan brings in the quality of the I am within each one of us, which we easily ignore. Existence without beginning or end, eternal. B. Existence everywhere, endless, infinite. C. Existence underlying all forms, all changes, all forces, all matter and all spirit. The many change and pass away, whereas the one always endures. D. The one displacing the triads, the knower, knowledge and the known. The triads are only appearances in time and space, whereas the reality lies beyond and behind them. They are like a mirage over the reality. What you see is a mirage over the reality. They are the result of delusion. Question. If I also be an illusion, who then casts off the illusion? Maharshi. The I casts off the illusion of I and yet remains as I. Such is the paradox of self-realization. Question. It is said that divine grace is necessary to attain successful undistracted mind, that is samadhi. Is that so? Maharshi. We are God. Ishvara. Seeing ourselves as God is itself divine grace. So, we need divine grace to get God's grace. Maharshi smiles and all devotees laugh together. Devotee. There is also divine favor, Ishvara Anugraha, as distinct from divine grace. Is that so? Maharshi. The thought of God is divine favor. He is by nature grace. It is by God's grace that you even think of God. Devotee. Is not the Master's grace the result of God's grace? Maharshi. Why distinguish between the two? The Master is the same as God and not different from Him. Devotee. When an endeavor is made to lead the right life and to concentrate thought on the self, there is often a downfall and breakdown. What is to be done? Maharshi. It will come all right in the end. There is this steady impulse of your determination that sets you on your feet again after every downfall and breakdown. Gradually, the obstacles are all overcome and your current becomes stronger. Everything comes right in the end. Steady determination is what is required. This is the fundamental teachings of Bhagavan. Very clear. You have to start with your investigation within yourself individually. No one can give it to you. Even the escape route that God has to give, Bhagavan cut it off. God is within you. You are God. Even to think of God is God's grace. So you have no other escape except to face yourself from the non-self, that is this body, and the mind Ganesan, with which we escape. I do not know, I am an ignorant man, or we escape into God has to help me, I am helpless. We go to that escape route, Bhagavan cuts off everything. Turn within, find out who you are. There is no other way. You have to turn within. The I am is always there waiting. And I am is God. You are asking for God's grace is itself is coming from the heart. Our sitting here in AHAM itself is God's grace. So in these 3 verses, Bhagavan repeatedly confirms the self-effort. First it is the self-effort, then the self-attainment. That self-effort itself becomes the self-attainment. Today, the 3 verses, verse 27, 28 and 29. The 27 verse is, the English translation, the inner state of non-emergence of I thought is the true state of the self I am. Whenever there is no I thought, you are in that state of I am. Trust yourself. That's what he confirms by the first line. The inner state of non-emergence of I thought is the true state of the self I am. I am that I am. Hence, without seeking or inquiring to know the inner state of non-emergence of I thought and getting rooted into that true self state of I am, how can one extinguish the ego I, the I thought? Without accomplishing its extinction, how is it possible for one to abide unmoved in one's natural state of self, the I am? The inner state of awareness of I am cannot be comprehended by the mind. So Bhagavan takes the help of, as we share from the beginning, truth should be simple, direct and natural. No word explanation is going to give you, because all the scriptures of the world are filled with words. Words are the truth, descriptions of the truth, but we have not understood. So Bhagavan, to help us, instead of going further with words, he turns to our own experience. The I am is the source of every thought. It's the platform, it is the basis, it is the ground on which the I thought plays. I thought emerges, the mind emerges. What is the mind? Except the play of the 3 states of waking, dream and sleep. Come to your own experience. Don't go after any books of explanations. Who experiences this waking state now? When you go to sleep, who experiences that sleep? And in the sleep you get dreams. As we once shared, a person is within a room of 6 feet by 7 feet and he dreams traveling by ship in the ocean. He sees even his dead aunt while his body is unmoved. That's the dream state. To whom all this happens? Only for that I which has emerged from the inner silence. Bhagavan refers to that. Look at your own state of experiences. Throughout the day and night, we pay complete attention to this waking state, what happens in the waking, or you feel tired, so you want to go to sleep, and when you go to sleep you are disturbed with the dreams, so you are always occupied with the non-truth. The states experienced by the I thought, which by itself is the non-truth. It has emerged from the I am. The I am state, the silent state, the peaceful state, within our heart is the platform on which this waking, dream and sleep drama is going on. Bhagavan says, wake up to that. See that. Do not pay attention to that which is the basis for the emergence of the ego I, the individuality, who experiences this variation of states. Find out why you are not paying to the source from which this drama is taking place. And people like Jesus Christ, Buddha and Ramana Maharshi, who have attained that state of I am, that is, have given up the accretions of I thought, for them also the same I am. You and I who claim that we are not realized, for us also the same I am is there. The only thing what we want is, what is required is, turn within, pay a little attention to that permanent state of I am. Withdraw the much wasted attention of day, waking state, night, sleep and dreams to the platform where all this takes place. It is only for you. That's why Maharshi is concerned only about the questionnaire. He is never bothered about the question, the content of the question, because you are most important. Not even Ramana Maharshi, when he was in the body, who asked this question? Bhagavan, I want to know God. Let God be left alone. Who asked this question? Because discussion on God without knowing that you are God, what is the use? So Maharshi always pays complete attention himself, because he had experienced it at the age of 16. Direct experience of the truth, the I am, and never came out of that. 54 years he was living in the body after that experience, for simply to awaken everyone who was coming to him or who was not coming to him, to emphasize, pay attention to that truth within. And for that, Bhagavan compassionately gave us a small technique. Who am I? Who am I? Only the mind you have to raise this question. When you raise this question, we are going to see in the next verse, like the salt doll going to measure the ocean, when it enters into the ocean, it gets dissolved. So when you who take yourself to be ignorant, who take yourself to be non-truth, I know I am a sinner. All the time we confirm that. Hey, Bhagavan says, hey, you are the salt doll. I want you to experience that you are the truth. So he gives this simple trick of find out who you are. When you ask who am I, when you watch, there is a silence. The thought comes, I want to go to San Francisco. Is right now my thought? Who has this thought? To me. Who am I? The moment you raise this question, who am I? Watch. Attention is important. Watch. Immediately, that thought that I want to go to San Francisco is not there, and there is a silence. Not only that thought has been cut off, but there is a silence. That's our real state. Then, within a few seconds or half a second, another thought comes. Bhagavan says, pursue that again and again. Thinking has become your non-state of thinking has become your habit. Make staying away from thought as your habit. How can you make an habit? By repeated practice. We know that in sports. The coach gives us repeated, come on again, come on again, come on again, come on again. Repeated thing, then you become an expert there. Because that expertise is already there within you. The coach has not given you anything like one more hand. Making you repeat. Unless it is already there, how can you do that? Tennis. I didn't know tennis. I was a cricket player. My master, my physical director said, "Hey, at least one day you should practice tennis." I took the racket, he threw the ball, I could not connect the ball. He said, "Come on again." Till I became, the very first day, I started playing tennis. The coach had not given me anything. It has already been there. The same way, Bhagavan wants you. Bhagavan is not, no Jesus Christ, no Buddha is giving you the truth. Please hold this in your heart very strongly. Nobody can give it. Whatever that is given will be taken away. Whatever that you gain will be lost. The simple thing is, it is already there. Turn within. Bhagavan repeatedly says, turn within, and that stillness, that moment of stillness within you is not only God, but that's the truth. And when there is no thought and stillness, that is Arunachala. We have been repeatedly saying Aruna Achala. Your existence is Aruna. Achala means make it non-moving. When there is a thought, it moves out from your original state of I am. I am thinking. What do you say? Don't disturb me, I am thinking now seriously. The I am is disturbed. We think that it is very important. Don't disturb me. So, when you are in a state where there is no thought, you are Arunachala. I am not saying this. Bhagavan has said. What is this Arunachala? Is it not a mud and boulders, concrete form, a hill? Bhagavan says, no. It is the self. Just as there is a self within your body. You are not just this body. You are the self. God has chosen, the self has chosen a body as Arunachala, the hill. Then he asks, why should he choose to be a hill? He wants to be a mirror. Whoever goes to Arunachala or chants Arunachala, why do we go and stand in front of the mirror? Not to appreciate the mirror. When we go and stand in front of that picture, we go and try to appreciate that picture. Why do we go and stand in front of the mirror? To see ourselves. Reflection of ourselves. Arunachala is the biggest mirror because you need a biggest mirror to show your smallest self as untruth. That which is within you is as big as the Arunachala hill. The second verse, verse 28, just as a man would dive deep into the water in order to recover his precious object that had fallen therein, even so, with an one-pointed attention, controlling speech and breath, one should dive within to find the source from where the ego I thought emerges. In this verse, Bhagavan gives this sure method of achieving success in our annihilating the non-existing phantom, the ego I. Because we always need some technique, some examples, some analogies to understand or grasp the truth. Bhagavan gives here an analogy of, suppose if you are walking on a bridge or over a pool and then your necklace drops into the water. Very costly. Immediately you plunge into the water to the right spot where the necklace is dropped or your watch is dropped, and involuntarily you control your breath. Of course your thought is only on the watch or the necklace, and to the right spot you dive in order to recover that. So here Bhagavan says, the truth, the I am, which is God, which you are seeking outside, which is within, you have forgotten it, like dropping of the precious thing. Bhagavan is helping us with this analogy of somebody who had dropped the precious object into the water, how he will dive within, how to do self-inquiry. Bhagavan is explaining here under breath, the breath and thought under control. Because Bhagavan has said, from the source, the silence, the mind and the breathing arise simultaneously. In one place, Bhagavan clearly explains, controlling the mind, you will control the breath. Control the breath, the mind is controlled. That's why yoga gets so much of importance. Yogic practices get so much of importance because that's the easy way to control the mind. If you are not able to ask who am I or do any of the wisdom path methods, yoga method is given. Yoga method is not the final thing, it is only a help. It helps you to understand how to control the breath. So here Bhagavan in this verse uses three important phrases which are very helpful for the practice. I have to use the Tamil word so that those who know Tamil can also follow that. In that Tamil verse, Kurnda Madiyal, that's the first aid he gives with razor sharp, one-pointed attention. Second is Pechi Muchi Adaki Kundu, thought and breath firmly controlled. And the third one is Alnda Ariya Vendum, plunging within and experiencing simultaneously. How does a diver into the water achieve success in finding out, recovering the precious object? When you have to jump into the water, naturally you control your breath. You cannot be breathing and then go under the water. And if you have got diversified attention, you will not be going to the right spot. So you want to recover that. So no one is foolish enough to think about something else and then dive in. So the mind, the thought process, there should be no other thought except recovering that costly jewel. And naturally, by nature, you will control your breathing. What is needed is one-pointed attention, razor sharp attention, which we actually do when we want to recover. There is no other thought. And to the right spot. That's why Bhagavan gives the help of turning to the right side of the chest. It is not that the truth is there, but since we take our body to be true, there he gives a location. Just as in the whole universe, Bhagavan says Arunachala is the center. How can in the whole universe only one place be the center? That's for aid, for help, to focus our attention. When you control your breath and thought process and dive at the right place to recover, that is with the mind only, you make an effort to dive within, turn within, ask who am I, and to find out who this I is, you reach a place of silence. And that silence is the truth, the I am. And here Bhagavan uses the analogy, another analogy of salt doll. Your effort to reach the I am with all this, our confusions, with our ignorance, so-called ignorance, one-pointed razor-sharp attention with breath and mind controlled, when you dive within, ask yourself, who am I? Bhagavan gives this story, a salt doll wanted to measure the bottom of the ocean. So one fellow said, you take a measuring rod and then measure it yourself. And he took a measuring tape and then entered into the ocean. As it entered into the ocean, what will happen to the salt doll? It got dissolved. It became the ocean. What it wanted to know was that it is already the ocean. It was identifying itself as a salt doll. The salt is the content of the ocean. The I with which you start the inquiry, you identify with ignorance. Bhagavan knows that our difficulty, like the salt doll, doesn't know its limitation. It knows the limitation that it is a salt doll, whereas it doesn't know it is limitlessness, that it is the ocean itself. So, as a ploy, usually say, you go and measure it. So that's why Bhagavan is always particular. The individual has to take this step. No teacher can give you, no classroom can give you, no book can give you. They only assist you. Just as somebody tells the salt doll, go and measure yourself. Ramana Maharshi only gives this, who am I, so that you can dive within. See, why should the breath be controlled? Bhagavan gives this beautifully in Day by Day, page 47. Breath and mind arise from the same place, and one of them is controlled, the other is also controlled. As a matter of fact, in the quest method, which is more correctly whence am I and not merely who am I, we are not simply trying to eliminate saying we are not the body, not the senses and so on, to reach what remains as the ultimate reality, but we are trying to find whence, that is where from, the I thought, the ego arises within us. The method contains, though implicitly and not expressly, the watching of the breath. When we watch where from the I thought springs, we are necessarily watching the source of breath also, as the I thought and the breath arise from the same source. When the mind subsides in one's meditation, the breathing also automatically and simultaneously subsides. If you, even in your simple day-to-day meditation, just now Elizabeth conducted, we do not notice this. When you are in meditation, your breath is not working, or it has become very subtle. You should notice all this. This is happening to you. Unless you notice and experience it, you will not know the depth of your importance. You are greater than what you think, what you are. Because you are, that's last session which shared, Bhagavan said, it is because of avichara, all our problems are non-enquiry. We do not enquire. We do not plunge within. When you do that, when even ordinary meditation, please watch your breathing, which normally you are strong with the breathing. When you meditate, it slows down. In real meditation, there is no breathing, which is not a great achievement. You will get it. It is very simple. As again bring to your mind the definition Bhagavan has given for truth. It should be simple, should be direct and natural. No verbiology can produce truth. It should be simple. In your meditation, watch your breathing stops. If at all you want a measurement, am I meditating properly? To one of the old devotees, Bhagavan said, you don't go for ask for somebody else for a certificate. If you are really in meditation, the breathing will not be there because it has subsided into the I am. The breathing and mind come out simultaneously, and when you either by yogic practice or by self-inquiry, it reaches the same source of silence. Please watch all this. And the third verse is verse 29. Without even uttering the sound or word I, but with full attention, diving deep within to inquire, seek and know from where the I emerges, is the path of self-wisdom. Any other method which is based on thinking, like I am that, I am not this, is helpful in the search, but it is not the search for the self I am. In this verse, Bhagavan's help is very fundamental, very important. In asking who am I, Bhagavan says, do not even utter the word I or try to hear the words I sound. Just inquire from where this I has arisen. It's not a big achievement. The very moment, here and now, when the I doesn't, that is, as a thought doesn't arise, you are in that state. At any moment or all moments, when there are no thoughts, you need only conviction. That's why I always share, trust yourself. Have complete trust in yourself. It is very easy to trust a teacher like him. It is very easy. Do you know what is easy? When I say easy, when there is problem, you can accuse him. Oh, he has not taught me properly. This is not the proper way. That's why we rely for a book, for a person to escape. The mind, the ego mind escapes. Even ordinary things, when something, usually it is given. In Tamil, when we say, when I walk, when I hit the chair, I don't know in English whether that usage is there. In Tamil we say, the chair has hit me. How can a chair hit you? You go and hit the chair, and then the usage. Oh, if I say pain, what happened to you? Oh, the chair hit me. That's the usage. Chair idichudtu. Liyamma? Table idichudtu. Kall idichudtu. Kall, that stone, when you climb up Arunachala, usually people come and say with a little bleeding. When I ask them, yes, that boulder hit me. It caused that. Always throwing the blame on others. That's why Maharshi says, find out, you are the truth. You are the beginning. You are the end. You are the middle. Everything you are. And that's why Maharshi says, trust yourself. This is what we lack, and trusting ourselves, we turn it into selfishness. If there is only one cake and there are two persons, what do? Gulp it immediately. That is not trusting yourself. You must trust completely. That trust will come only when you have trust on an ultimate truth. The ultimate truth that is within you. You must have trust in that. When the masters say, when God told Moses, I am that I am, why do you doubt it? Find out. When Jesus Christ said, be still and know that I am God, Why don't you do it? Why do you say, no, I don't understand that? Why do you escape from that? When Maharshi says, ask who am I, plunge within, go to the source of silence, why do you take a shelter in saying, what? I can't do it. Who is that I who says I can't do it? That's exactly the purpose for which the who am I is asked. In these verses, Bhagavan is making very clear that there is no other escape except you are asking who am I. Bhagavan even goes to the extent of, he doesn't confirm any theory, approve of any theory, that is extol any theory, whether it is Hinduism or Christianity, anything, nor deny it. He takes a middle course. Buddha took that middle course. Buddha never talked about God. So they said Buddha was an atheist, which is not true. He wanted you to experience that you are God, just as Bhagavan has publicly expounded. Bhagavan approved, Bhagavan did not extol even somebody having vision of God. We shared the other day when Punjaji, when Papaji saw Krishna and Rama, Bhagavan asked him, where is he now? Your Lord Krishna and your Lord Rama. He says, no, they won't come all the time. When I ask them, they will come. What is the use of a God who comes and goes away, who appears and disappears? Why don't you find out the God who is always there? What is meant by always? In your waking, you say, I am wakeful. In your dreaming, what do you say? I am dreaming. In your sleep, I am sleeping. Bhagavan says, remove the waking, sleeping, dreaming. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am is the truth. Why not we plunge within? So, Bhagavan's method is to focus the middle way, either because mind likes to either extol or deny, affirm or deny. I believe in God. Another mind says, no, I do not believe in God. Buddha takes the middle way, who says that I do not believe in God, who says I believe in God. The middle way which transcends extolation, confirmation or denial. So, Bhagavan even takes a traditional Hindu way of, it is very, very useful, the traditional approach to perfect one's spiritual fulfillment is through these 3 steps. Forgive me for using the technical terms, but they are not frightening. Sravana is Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Samadhi. This is the process the Hindu tradition, Vedas give you, the Upanishads give you. Sravana is hearing the scriptures, hearing the scriptural statement. Manana is thinking over what has been heard, reflecting. Nididhyasana is uninterrupted contemplation on what you have heard, what you have accepted as contemplation. Samadhi is when you attain this bliss and peace. See how Bhagavan puts it in his own method. In talks number 647, Bhagavan says, the enquiry who am I is the Sravana. You have heard it in AHAM or in Ramana ashram or from a book. Ask yourself who am I. That is Sravana, Bhagavan says. You have heard it. Then Manana is the ascertainment of the true import of I am. Now we are discussing this, sharing this. Come on, go and question yourself. Make it your own is Manana. Making the I am your own is Manana. How will it become your own? Practical application on each occasion. When doubt arises, question again who am I, and arrive at the experience of I am, and in due course it will become the permanent thing. What is this Sravana? Bhagavan, what is this? Bhagavan says, asking who am I is Sravana. Bhagavan explains that. Sravana removes, why should you listen to who am I? It removes the ignorance of taking your body to be the self. You have to listen to that. The teaching of who am I. Undergo a class here. First hear it, listen to it. The who am I. So that is Sravana. And why Manana? Why should I reflect again and again over that? It removes all forms of doubts. And what is Nididhyasana? Removes the wrong identity completely from your system of your identifying with the body and mind, and helps you pose yourself to the I am experience. And as we shared, when it becomes your habit, now thinking is our habit. To stay in a state of non-thinking, let it become a habit. When it becomes habit, that is samadhi. All the time. I have seen 30 sages and 60 old devotees staying in that state. Naturally, bodily and otherwise they were actively involving, but all the time staying in that state, pursuing this who am I, and then staying in that state. Have complete faith. Bhagavan has quoted, we are God. Trust in the higher power and then trust yourself. That is, God as one's inner experience is truth. Bhagavan doesn't deny God. But the vision of God he denied. Bhagavan says, God as one's inner experience is truth. God as a concept is falsehood. That's why Bhagavan repeatedly quoted Jesus Christ, be still and know that I am God. For my own convenience, when this was clarified from within to me, I added one IS to that. Be still. Only in silence you can get clarity. Even when worldly problems, what do you do when you are confused? You go separately into your room, think over the problem. So, being still, be still and know that I am is God. That's the revelation I got. Be still and know I am God makes only a statement. But in silence, if you are there, that is asking who am I, and come to that silent state, then it comes as an experience. The feeling of I am is God. I'll just conclude this with two glorious statements of Bhagavan. What is liberation? This is talk number 131. Liberation is to know that you were never born. Be still and know that I am God. To be still is not to think. Know and not think, Jesus Christ has said. Devotee. There are said to be 6 organs of different colors in the chest, of which the heart is said to be 2 finger breadths to the right of the middle line, but the heart is also formless. Should we then imagine it to have a shape and meditate on it? Bhagavan's reply is no. Only the quest who am I is necessary. What remains all through deep sleep and waking is the same I am. But in waking there is unhappiness and the effort to remove it. Asked who wakes up from deep sleep, you say I. Now you are told to hold fast to this I. If it is done, the eternal being will reveal itself. Investigation of I is the point and not meditation on the heart center. Of course, There is also the practice of meditation on the heart center. It is only a practice and not the investigation itself. And talks number 146. Reality is simply the loss of the ego. Destroy the ego by seeking its identity. Because the ego is no entity, it will automatically vanish, and reality, because it is the truth, will shine forth by itself. This is the direct method, whereas all other methods are done only retaining the mind. In those paths, there arise so many doubts, and the eternal question remains to be tackled finally. But in this method, the final question is the only one, and it is raised from the very beginning. No sadhanas are necessary for engaging in this quest. There is no greater mystery than this, namely, ourselves being the reality, we seek to gain reality from outside. We think that there is something hiding our reality and that it must be destroyed before the reality is gained. It is ridiculous. A day will dawn when you will yourself laugh at your past efforts. That which will be on the day you laugh is also here and now. Devotee. So, it is all just a game of pretending? Spiritual sadhana, our life, everything. Is it all just a great game of pretending? Of course it is. In Yoga Vasishta it is said, what is real is hidden from us, but what is false is revealed as true. We are actually experiencing the reality only. Still, we do not know it. Is it not a wonder of wonders? The quest, who am I, is the axe with which to cut off the ego. Count your fortunes. You are directly in contact with truth all the time. You have forgotten it. In one other place, Bhagavan says, if truth is I am, why it is self? Why I am not able to feel it? You have forgotten it. Now remember it, that's all. There is no regaining it. Just for verbiage we say you will regain the self. It is all the time there. Whenever there is no thought, please make it your own. Don't make self-realization something as outside you. It is your own. Pay razor-sharp attention to the stillness that is all the time within you, while driving the car, while cooking, while watching a game. This asking who am I is not a technique to be patented by somebody. Ramana Maharshi doesn't own it. No one can own it. Every individual, these 60 billion bodies are owning it. So where is the question of patent or trademark? It is your own. Be happy. Trust the higher power. Trust yourself. The trusting is surrendering your ignorance of that you are the body, that you are so and so, and you are living in time. You are timeless, spaceless, causeless, just pure silence. From theory to make it a practice or to make it your own, that's what Bhagavan said. deserve it and own it. Thank you very much.